completely thrown off today.
It's good.
It's fine.
If it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger.
We're gonna get through this. The audio is not. The computers are not cooperating today, but
We're working with 2010 sound today.
no, the audience won't know a thing.
Okay, well then never mind.
They won't know.
I didn't say
thing.
anything.
Yeah,
What sound?
exactly.
Okay, let's jump in, man. We got some very, very prolific guests on the show today.
They're just here. Let's get them.
They're right there.
Boom.
All right,
Dr. Gordon Chee and Dr. Sunny Virdi, thanks for joining us. This is great to have both of you guys. It's like a cross-Canada thing today. Almost across.
How are you guys?
Thanks for having us.
We're good. Yeah, thanks for having us.
We won't throw Dr. Virdi under the bus right now. He's got a little secret below the camera right now.
Uh-oh.
The little French fry. He's working on a couple little French fries, right? Sorry, I shouldn't have thrown you under the bus. It's a bad way to start. So busy week, guys. Some life things happening. Let's.
What's new?
What's new? What's exciting?
You want to go first?
Gordon's life is more exciting than mine. You go ahead, Gordon.
My life's more exciting.
Flip a coin. Let's start with you, Gordon.
So
we'll start west and we'll head out.
For anyone who hasn't watched the
Okay.
show in a while, so we've had Dr. Gordon Chee on before. Let's just give a little context. So who's Dr. Gordon Chee and who's Dr. Sunny Virdi? Let's throw that out there first.
Sure. Are we telling them, or should they?
Yeah. Tell us about yourselves first. For anyone who's new to our show, our viewership has increased a little bit, so we want to make sure that everyone's who are we talking to today? We know who you guys are. A lot of Canada knows who you guys are, but we might have people watching in the UK.
Oh, we do.
So tell us who you guys are.
Everyone knows who Sunny is, so I'll just talk about myself.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm a dentist in Calgary, Alberta. My practice is mainly aesthetic dentistry. I have a aesthetic boutique practice, and I teach courses with Sunny, and it's really fun. It's a great learning opportunity for attendees. I teach a lot of aesthetic dentistry, both posterior and anterior, and we're going to be teaching some dental photography coming up this year in October. And yeah, 3 kids, man.
Very cool.
Nice.
Dr. Virdi, tell us about yourself.
So I'm Dr. Sunny Virdi, or Sunny, or DMD Sunny, or whatever you want to call me. And my followers won't feel like you threw me under the bus with the fries, because I'm trying to be the A&W. My big goal, I really want to get sponsored by A&W. So I'm still working on that. They said no, but I'm here in Winnipeg, Canada. I have a group office here with 2 partners that are 2 of my best friends, and we have a lot of fun. We opened up our office 3 weeks before COVID shut everything down.
Oh, wow.
I've been through a lot of things in the last few years, but I love it, and I love dentistry. I didn't always love dentistry, but I love where I'm at now. And I'm lucky enough to get to teach with Gordon and Paresh and do our Elevate courses across the country. And it's been a blessing, and I've learned a lot and had the opportunity to connect with a lot of cool people. So I'm very excited to be on the show here. I hear a lot of good things about you guys, and I'm a listener myself. So.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that.
Not today. I'm blowing it on the technical side of things today, but it is what it is.
Hey, without you, we wouldn't have technology.
I make the
The
technology.
show.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
So let's hear a little bit about the Elevate course. So like, talk about maybe what are its components? What is it comprised
Well,
of?
and before we do that, like, I just want to talk. I'm gonna gush a little bit. Like, you guys are massive, right? You guys have a huge following. You guys are doing some really cool stuff out there for dentistry. So, like, I just really want to dive into the stuff that you guys are doing, so that when our viewers watch this, like, yeah, I want to be part of this course. What is this? Like, it's like you're blowing things up out there. So, kudos to you guys for doing such amazing things. So, I want to preface by the whole conversation by saying, what you're doing is amazing. We're seeing you guys all over the place. And then we jump into what is Elevate.
Sure.
You like that?
I like it.
Okay. I totally railroaded you there.
You usually do.
Okay. I will stop interrupting you, I promise. He's giving me the death stare right
No,
now.
I know. No. Continue.
Okay.
Continue. Yeah, so you guys are making your way out west here for a photography course. So is that like a piece of this of the program? Like, what are all of the parts here? Like, let's kind of dive into it.
So Elevate Dentistry, we have a few course offerings. So we have a posterior restorative course, which includes composites, onlays, indirects, and isolation. And that's a very popular course. We also have our anterior veneer course, which is a 3D course that we have in Winnipeg with live over-the-shoulder live patient, which is my favorite course. And this year we're going to be offering also a injection molding course, and we'll also be talking about increasing the video vertical dimension of occlusion strategies and techniques. And then Sunny and I will be teaching a dental photography course in October, which is through Create Photography, which is sort of a brand that I had started because I was teaching photography before Elevate. And yeah, we'll see what the future brings. Maybe we'll merge the two or whatever. It's hard to know, but yeah, we're excited to bring that, and we're going to be having that out west where you guys are.
And we might know where that is, so we're pretty excited to to have you guys out here. It's gonna be awesome.
You mentioned the veneer course, and then sorry, the other one was the injection one. Sorry, I missed the term just because our sound is a little wonky.
Injection molding.
Tell us a little bit about that. I'm just.
Do you want to do that, Sunny?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, it's kind of like a buzz thing that's happening, but as every clinician moves forward in their journey in dentistry, and you start looking at patients as like whole mouths and holes as opposed to single tooth dentistry, you start to get into rehabs and looking at wear and why people have tooth wear and how do you solve that. And a lot of times it is like doing a whole arch or full mouth rehabs. But for a lot of patients and dentists too, planning that can be daunting and can be daunting financially for patients. So injection molding is like, building up teeth with composite, using like a stent or some kind of preformed matrix in some way, like similar to BioClear. But the way we're talking about it is more from an aesthetic and functional point of view, not so much as like a single tooth, like class 2 restoration. But yeah, showing people how to like start with just maybe doing some aesthetics and like composite veneers using injection molding, all the way to like rebuilding worn teeth and a worn dentition and increasing vertical, like Gordon mentioned, and making it look good along the way too.
Some years ago, so like, pardon me, I'm probably sound like super old saying, or like, I'm not sure, but I think back to comp veneers, and I'm sure it might be something completely different, but is that close to what that is, or is that, I'm assuming it's much different than that?
It's more about I feel like it's really hard. It's really easy if you saw a visual, and it's really hard to describe with words. But using like a preformed matrix, like it's almost like a clear PVS putty matrix taken over top a wax up that's been done, and you cut a little hole into it, and when you lay it over top the teeth in the patient's mouth, you take like a flowable syringe or heated composite, and you fill the space up, and it like injection molds a new tooth over top the surface. And so instead of having to use like your eyes and trying to guess where the incisal edge should be and different lengths and making everything symmetrical, it's almost like a cheat code. But it gets patients into treatment, and then you can transition them into ceramic or keep repairing things over time, like whatever you want to do. But yeah, different than comp veneers for sure.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm like I remember comp veneers from quite a few years ago, but it sounds like it really streamlines the process. And
Sorry, I lost you there.
Oh, now we're back. Yeah.
I hear you now.
Embarrassing. This is awful. Ah!
I'll repeat the question.
I'm like, my palms are like, I'm sweating here. This sucks. But
you guys are watching us while we're having some adversity here today,
I'm
so this is good.
melting
We're
down
all
here. Yeah. Hey, life is never like a walk in the park, right?
we're all in it together.
Yes.
Right. I just said my question. So can you guys hear me?
They can now. I can see.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
So my
now,
question was, I would assume that the injection molding course or that process for anyone who's shy or who's concerned about getting into veneers, it sounds like a streamlined approach that helps them get comfortable doing the process.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I think
it's-
most general dentists use composite in their day-to-day life, like except for these superstars like Gordon. Maybe he doesn't pick up composite as much as everyone else, but we use it every day. So okay, stop thinking about these treatments as like super complex, as there's a lab involved and there's ceramics and you got to like manage temporization and all these things. It's like, let's get to where the patient needs to go using material you're very familiar with, and then you can transition that from where you want to go from there. So I think as like a thinking exercise, it's a lot easier for GPs to wrap their head around doing it that way.
kind of is like a good entry point into aesthetics for patients because usually the price point's a little lower because it's quite quick and easy to do compared with trying to use bonding by hand for doing a big smile makeover, which can be very time consuming. So usually the cost can be a little bit less, so it's a good entry point. It also, like Sunny was suggesting, it sort of eliminates a lot of the technique stress because a lot of it's sort of pre-done for you. So you don't have to, stress out about eyeballing everything and making everything nice and parallel and same size and shape. It's you just inject it, peel it off, and like most of it's there already. And then you just spend a bit of time finishing and polishing, and you end up with a really nice result that didn't take a long time to do. So it's a great tool for, I think, any dentist out there to offer at their practices. It's a great service to the patient.
Yeah. So for any patients that are financially restricted, right? So they're like, you know what, I can't quite afford the handcrafted veneers today.
Mm-hmm.
At some point I will be able to afford it, but for now I still want that nice smile, but I can't really. So like you said, right, it really sort of brings down the barrier to say, yeah, you can have a much more aesthetic smile at a more reasonable sort of entry point.
Yeah.
Now that I can hear you guys,
Yeah. Hey,
we just fixed our sound.
I figured it out. I feel like
I was lip reading you guys the whole time. I'm like, that's why I was squinting. I'm like, I think he said composite there.
something about options.
I think he said matrix. There's a matrix in there somewhere for sure.
Okay, so I feel better now. I apologize for that. So again, not everybody has the same financial means, right? When we're getting into those high end full reconstruction veneer cases versus if we're now like mounting to existing teeth structure and like there's a lab out here that does opposed to doing the full piece, they do like a CRN precision attachment. So you're looking at bringing down a cost of doing a full mouth rehab to under 10 grand versus doing a full upper 8-unit case.
Is there typically less prep on a injection molding veneer case?
I mean, it depends how you plan the smell design.
Right.
A lot of cases are actually no prep.
Oh, wow.
If your patient does, yeah, if your patient doesn't mind just having like slightly larger teeth, like if they're going from a smaller tooth to a larger tooth, then they're okay, and that looks good with their smile, then it's basically no prep.
Well,
Um,
I mean, the goal is
but
to
yeah,
not remove tooth structure, isn't it? Like, or as little as
yeah,
possible.
yeah, exactly. So if you have one tooth that's sort of sticking out, and you're trying to bring that back, then yes, you probably have to prep a little bit off. But yeah, I'd say a lot of the cases are no prep, and yeah, which makes it really nice because it's reversible too. So there's no invasiveness. You don't really need to freeze them. There's no sensitivity. So it makes it really nice non-invasive treatment.
Yeah, and that's also part of getting patients to accept that if you kind of tell them like it's additive, we're not prepping. Lots of times no anesthetic, like it's case acceptance is like really really high with it, and the results are
Mhm.
good. It takes a lot of the work out of the manual labor out of it. So
I mean,
As soon as you say no needles, you're like, that's half the buy-in right there. Like, I'll get you veneers and there's no needles.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of
Yeah.
our concepts that we try to do in our courses are like, how do we get to the end result with the least amount of tooth structure removed? And I mean, I've seen some amazing things from some people I've learned from, like Mauro Ferdiani in Italy shows full mouth rehab cases that he does, and they're prepped with ceramic, and he didn't use any local anesthetic for a full mouth rehab. That's how minimally invasive he was.
Wow.
Increasing vertical and all working in enamel, and so you see some incredible things with incredible follow-ups around the world, and this is where things are heading. So I think in Canada, especially, things are a little bit slower to catch on, but it's really starting to pick up here. So it's cool to see that these trends come in Canada.
I got a question. Why is it so slow here? Why are we slower
Ooh.
to adopt? Like,
Health Canada.
well, we find, when we look at what our neighbors, even down the south, like, if you have an idea and you share it with somebody down there, it seems like the buy-ins that much easier down there. What is it about Canada? Are we more skeptical? Like, what is it?
I have my own pessimistic view on this, but I'll let Gordon. Gordon, you go ahead.
You can plead the fifth on this. You don't have to answer.
Who wants to get into trouble?
No,
Who's throwing
I don't-
who
I
under
don't
the
mind.
bus?
I don't mind saying it. I'll say it, but I'll let Gordon answer.
Okay, you say it. You say it. Because I don't even know what to say.
For me, I really think that it. I'm not going to say they're totally responsible. I think they have a large part to play, and it's the dental schools here, and it's a hard job. Like I'm not trying to throw them under the bus for any reason, but just seeing how the education hasn't necessarily, updated and
Evolved.
like evolved with how everything else is in the world is it's tough to see, and you want to see people doing more. It's like they're waiting for everything to have 25-year follow-ups where they talk about it in school. Well, if you do that, we fall 25 years behind. Like it just makes no sense to me. And
100%.
I stay in touch with the new grads from the school here, and they reach out to me because they're just like, I'm struggling, and do you have any advice for us? Because I don't know what I'm doing, and like even with things as composite that we do so much of, they feel like they're not necessarily getting the experience they need to transition to private practice and do the kind of dentistry they want to do. Never mind, digital dentistry and all these and overlays and whatever else, injection molding, like that's a far away from them. Just even the daily stuff they struggle with. So I think the dental school's got to take a really hard look at themselves and say, how do we prepare these people for dentistry, how it's being done in private practice right now?
Well, I mean, and just the technology alone is advancing so quickly.
Yeah.
How
And the business of dentistry.
and and
There's 1,000 people out there
sure.
on LinkedIn selling
like
dentists the business
exactly.
of dentistry courses, right? Like,
how to market, exactly. It's a tough.
you guys when you guys come out of school, are they like, okay, go out there and run your own practice? Like, what do they give you? Like, what do they say to you when it comes to like they just push you guys out of school and say good luck? Like, how does that work?
There's not a lot of preparation. It's been a while since I've been in dental school, but when I was in dental school, I trying to remember. I think we just had like a half-hour course in our last year of dental school that talked about the business of dentistry, but it was really superficial and nothing all that
A half
useful.
hour. You might as well go for
So
a coffee.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say like the way I learned was basically talking to as many people as I could, especially dentists that have own practices. And a lot of it's just like going through the pain of learning and figuring it out on your own. You're definitely going to have stressful periods. And over time, once you kind of have a vision of where you want to take your practice and you can stay focused, that's really helpful. That's what I found helped me, is just trying to not worry so much about the business, but worry about the vision and where I wanted to take my practice, and then all that other stuff just fell into place.
Well, I'm tooting your horn here, but I think you're one of the best at that. Like, your own personal brand and what you're doing in your practice is like so apparent. Like, there's no guessing game what Gordon Chee's up to, you know? So
well, and Sonny, like when you came out of school, was it kind of the same half-hour course? Like, what was your experience?
Yeah, similar. I think they try to put in the curriculum, but it's a two-way street. Part of it, the students don't want to learn, so maybe they said something that we didn't care, and I think maybe they could have done a little bit of a better job at the same time getting us prepared. But you're so worried about everything else. You're just like, I don't know how to drill a tooth, so let me figure that part out first, and we'll go from there. But as like Gordon said, mentorship was a big thing for me starting out. Mentorship really helped me in networking with people when you go to all these like courses and conferences. These were two things that were instrumental for us getting our practice off the ground and helping it kind of survive this pandemic. I always say Gordon, you guys talked about Gordon Chee is like, I say, Canada's best kept secret, and I don't think you're a secret anymore, but this guy, is doing is so incredible, and I'm lucky enough to have him as a close friend, and I look up to him a lot. He may not say he's my mentor, but he is my mentor.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, got the warm and fuzzies.
And we got to give credit to Paresh too, because he's. I think he's very open to share. You know, is that tough to find? Is it tough to find a mentor that, you know, is open to sharing?
Well, I was lucky. I was in the same city. Like, I never thought I would be in the same city as somebody like that. And that guy has taken under his wing and done so much for that. Guy has the biggest heart of anybody I've ever met. I always share the story about Paresh that I went to Seattle Study Club, the symposium, just when COVID kind of opened up and we got to do that again. And he was late for a day. Like, this guy hasn't missed a symposium in the last, I don't know, dozen years or something. And he wasn't there for the first day. And everybody was like, where is he? Where is Paresh? And I said, he's coming tomorrow, don't worry. And the one thing everybody said was, you know what I think about when I think about him is the word integrity. Mm-hmm. How cool is that? That's what people say about you behind your back, that you have integrity. 100%. That's got to be one of the best compliments you could ever get.
Yeah. It's better than the stuff that people 100%. Say behind Tyler's back. So.
Yes. There's a lot of naysayers out there.
But yeah, like, there's also ego out there. It's tough to cut through. Like, there's some people that are very closed off and don't share the info. But like, my answer to that is, like, we're not here forever. Like, you're not going to be doing dentistry forever. So if you're good at something, if there's an aspect that you can share, why don't you share that? You're sharing to the profession too.
Well, just to jump in on that, I think that, like, in the first few years, you're so in it, right? You're fighting that battle. You're trying to figure out, you know, make sure you're a competent clinician. Plus, you're trying to make sure you're hitting payroll. Plus, you're trying to make sure that the bills are paid on time. Like, I mean, you're stacking running a business on top of your training. So, I mean, I just think about that whole process, and it just kind of stresses me out a little bit. Like, I see it all the time. I'm like, man, oh man, how can I help? But there has to be that sort of turning point in a dentist career where, like, you know what, I've got this, and now I want to start sharing it with people.
And then maybe like, you know, I was at a 2-day seminar last week, and you know, a veteran clinician shared, like, be open to getting help. Like, seek help, seek third party. get somebody that knows accounting, get somebody that knows, how to market, and learn, and you can focus on being chairside more and worry less if you have these elements kind of professionally taken care of. And a lot of the folks that we see out here in Vancouver that have done that are running very successful practices.
Yeah.
So anyways,
in the cutthroat town of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
That's okay. I agree with you. Like in my career, it's like your first, 4 or 5 years of owning a practice, you're just like trying to survive.
Yeah.
and then you get more comfortable, and then you get to the point where you're comfortable enough that, hey, I want to do something else that's fulfilling. And for Presh, Sunny, and I, like I'd say we're very generous with our wisdom, and experience, because we love teaching, and we love helping younger dentists and older dentists too. But yeah, I feel really fortunate to be partnered up with two just really genuine people, and we're all there to help and teach and share our experience. And yeah, it's you get to this point where it's kind of like time to give back to the dental community, and you were in their shoes once when you first graduated, so you just want to help those people out.
Well, in teaching too, you're learning as well, right?
Was there a moment? Was there like an aha moment when you're like, I know I want to pivot now. I want to start teaching.
For myself, I kind of initially was a little bit reluctant. Like I just got I just got a lot of requests to teach, and I had never taught before, so I don't know, I guess just like self-doubt in the beginning, but then I eventually gave in and started doing some, and started really enjoying it and getting more comfortable with it. And yeah, now I love it. And I love teaching, but what I love even more is teaching with these two guys.
That's awesome.
What about you, Sonny? Did you have Did you have an aha moment?
Not at all. I wouldn't be working with Gordon and Fresh. Like, I am very lucky to be in these guys' company and work alongside these guys, because for myself, I try to be objective about it. I think I have a lot of skill and a lot to share with people, because I've gone through a long journey of learning, and I'm always trying to learn and trying to bring new stuff in. So I think I have stuff to share, but where is important to me is the longevity of things and proof of success. And I've only been working so long, like I don't have 10-year, 15-year follow-ups on my work, but these guys do. So it makes me feel a lot more comfortable sharing concepts alongside these guys, and then they get to show you all the follow-ups that they've seen over time. So it's only alongside these guys I felt comfortable enough to make that jump, and I love it. And part of it for me is like the relationships you make, and getting to meet people and like learn from them too. And you make that sort of relationship with other people you never would have met otherwise. It's been a blessing. I really enjoy that part.
Awesome. So
very cool.
The trio, what do each of you bring? What aspects are you bringing that fulfills that certain piece?
What's a superpower?
What's your guys' superpower that you're bringing?
As a group, or
well, like as individuals that make up this trio,
the trifecta.
The trifecta.
Well, I think what's really cool about our dynamic is that we're like 3 generations of dentists. Like, Presh is like the elder statesman, and I'm kind of in the middle, and Sunny is a little bit younger than us, and it's a good. Our attendees get really cool perspective from all 3 of us. In terms of dentistry, Sunny's like a guru when it comes to posterior composites, like so skilled and knowledgeable. And Paresh brings a lot of experience, and he has a big focus on interdisciplinary treatment planning.
Big
and
digital guy too.
restorative. And then, yeah, big digital guy.
Yeah.
I do a lot of bonding and veneers and foam up, and so I sort of, I guess, bring more of the anterior aesthetic part of the package, and I also do lots of dental photography. So
Branding,
that
right?
as well. Yeah, branding, marketing. Yeah.
And your photography courses, what do they fill up in like 3 seconds? Like,
We hope so.
I heard they're hard to get into. Like, are they, like, when I hear about Gordon's courses with photography, I just like, I think you're gonna have to get a wait list. Is that true? It's a very popular course, I hear.
Yeah. So I feel like it's kind of changed, like as time goes on. Like during COVID, obviously a lot of people wanted online training, and then I did an online photography mentorship, and after that, I got like a almost 2.5, 3 year wait list.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're
But
much further ahead of
then
yeah. I
like
said start to get a wait list. You've got a wait list.
yeah, but then it was pretty time consuming, and I was getting really busy at the practice, and I was getting busy doing Elevate with these guys, and I've just been kind of slacking with offering online programs.
Right.
Because I used to do the mentorship over like a 10-week period, like every week. So yeah, I might bring it back. I'm trying to create some time in my schedule to do that again because it was really fun. But yeah, we figured doing this weekend in-person course was important as well, because there were a lot of people asking for like hands-on in-person. So yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
hopefully everything.
the virtual
sells out
thing's
fast.
nice.
Yeah.
The virtual thing's nice, but there's you just can't beat like face-to-face stuff. Like when it comes to the practical stuff, there's some companies rolling out, or some dental businesses that are rolling out like sending a package to the clinician to sort of unbox and then work alongside. But that over-the-shoulder stuff, I think that's kind of where you're progressing the furthest.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's pros and cons to each. There's definitely some advantages to the virtual mentorship we had. So because it was split up over the course of several weeks, I could teach one aspect of dental photography and then get the dentist to take pictures like that and then submit them for critique. So there's a bigger constructive critique segment to that. So that was a big advantage over, say, like a 2-day course where you come, learn everything, and you go home and you start practicing. But we do try to, I mean, all of our courses, be it Elevate or Create, we want to create like a close community that it goes beyond the course. And so if you take any of our courses, and then afterwards you do a case and have questions, like the three of us are super open to answering any questions, so or doing any critiques. So but I did find that to be a good advantage. The other advantage of online was that you got to do it in your own office with your own equipment, rather than coming to one event and sort of like using our equipment in a different space. So that was another advantage. But like you said, some people do like the hands-on in person. We can just, physically show them on camera what to set it at, and how to hold the camera, and where to direct the camera. So I'd say there's pros and cons to both.
It should be like a hybrid,
Yeah.
Cool. So how does one find out and sign up for your list of courses?
We've been lucky enough that through Instagram, it's all kind of happened. And like you mentioned, things kind of sell out in 3 seconds. We've been lucky. The response has been crazy. Like we post something and usually, I don't know, within 72 hours, it fills up. But part of it is we keep the class size really small because it's important to us that we get to spend time with each person. And I really want every person to leave feeling like they left a better clinician or they learned something really valuable that they could take Monday morning and start doing. That part's huge for us. I don't want to just get up there, say the information, here's the take home stuff, and like see you later. Like Gordon said, I really want to make a community. So I think people have seen a lot of value in that, and there's been a big response. So we post everything on Instagram. We'd like to start sending it through other mediums because I know there's so many dentists who aren't on Instagram. But right now, it's through Instagram in our profiles, and we have little bios, and all the courses are listed, and you find whatever's interesting to you, and it takes you to the sign-up page.
And what's your handle?
I'm at DMD Sunny, and Gordon is the Instagram superstar.
Did you say Instagram superstar? What?
He's got like 17 or 18 Instagram accounts now.
I have a few. So my main educational one, I would say, is at Dr. Gordon Chee.
And everybody will be able to find that in the links below. I'll make that happen.
But you're so right, though, Sonia. Like Instagram it is huge. It's kind of where it's so easy to go there and get the information you need and to click on the link. So, I think Instagram is going to be kind of the main check-in point for the next little while. I mean, maybe TikTok. I don't know. I think Instagram's still a little bit more easier to navigate.
It's so funny. Like when I graduated dental school, I never thought like, oh, the University of Instagram would be where I learned so much stuff. Never thought that. Like I, would have bet money against this ever happening.
Yeah.
But it's the community and access to people. Like I've gotten to talk to like my dental heroes in Italy through Instagram, which I never thought I'd get a chance to talk to them. And you get to meet the guys who wrote the textbooks and wrote the articles through Instagram and see their work. And it's a double-edged sword. There's lots of crazy things going on there, but I think the pros outweigh the cons pretty heavily. So
you can find the negative if you look for it. If you look for the positives.
But it's crazy because we did a couple of years ago. We did remember the 12 Days of Toothmas?
Oh yeah.
We did the 12 Days of Toothmas, and over those 12 days, we reached out to we reached out to like 20 or 30. Yeah. Like of the biggest dental influencers in the world.
Bill Dorfman.
Like we were like messaging Bill Dorfman and Sam Soleil.
Sam Soleil, yeah.
Like all these like massive. What's that?
Gordon Chee.
Gordon Chee, that's right. That's how we met Gordon.
One of them was we featured Paresh.
We featured Paresh. Obviously had a big following But I mean, we did the 12 Days of Toothmas, and it was huge for us because we got to have conversations with these mega influential dentists around North America and the world, for that matter. We had a huge response in the UK where we were getting, FaceTime with some really cool, innovative dentists who are really kind of changing the industry. So, and that's really kind of why we talk to you guys, because we see people like you guys and Paresh really kind of molding and changing the industry right in front of our eyes. So it's really cool to be here with you, like, and getting to look back on this 20 years from now and go, hey, like we actually got to talk to those people. Those guys were like kind of pioneers coming out of the 2010s. So I'm excited about what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
that's cool. Why I hang out with Gordon and Paresh too, because I look at them like I want to say that I was there when Gordon and Paresh took over the world.
Yes, that's why I'm here, man. We're both here for that. Riding along.
Sonny's like such a hype man.
That's great. I can see that's part of his superpower. That's his superpower that he brings. Yeah, he's the hype guy.
He's the hype man.
Every entourage needs the hype guy.
The show promoter.
I'll tell anybody. Winnipeg is the Las Vegas of Canada.
We're coming, man.
All right, I'm sold. I'm in.
I've never been to Winnipeg. I so want to get there now.
Really? You never been? Huh?
I will show you everything in 3 hours, but it'll be the best 3 hours. Gordon has 3 times to live.
Oh, that's so good.
Hey, I've never been every 3 months.
What's that, Gordon?
I said I relive that experience every few months when we go and do the Elevate course in Winnipeg. It's like deja vu every time.
People in Winnipeg remember Gordon. They're like, "Isn't that the guy from Calgary?" I'm like, that's him. We celebrated Gordon's birthday here in Winnipeg.
He's got his own like stat holiday there in Winnipeg now.
Is there a statue of Gordon in Winnipeg, or
Statue, yeah. he's just like working on a tooth.
the day Gordon came to town?
Yeah. We put it right next to Dale Howard, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, this is great, guys. Like quick takeaways. Like, so for any dentists that are watching this, what are we talking about? We're talking about doing a course on veneers. Again, we talked about the injection molding process. What are people going to learn from you guys?
So September, we have our anterior veneer course in Winnipeg. That's an awesome course. I love teaching that course. It's 3 days. We go into a lot of detail on how to do a smile makeover from start to finish, and then try to give you as much confidence and hands-on experience as possible when you go home, so that you feel as comfortable as possible doing that in your own practice. And then October 27th, 28th, I believe, is our photography course. That'll be at Ocean Ceramics in Aldergrove.
Yeah.
We just say a suburb of Vancouver.
In the suburbs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So excited for that. That'll be with me and Sunny. And then beginning of, there's also posterior in Edmonton in November. Posterior, that one's almost full though, I believe.
That one. And then there's Toronto. Like we'll do
Toronto.
Anterior composites, like posterior EMAX, zirconia, overlay restorations, sort of like your bread and butter daily stuff. And then we're going to finish up with injection molding at the end of the year. So basically, if you're just looking to elevate any part of your dentistry, whether it's like the daily bread and butter stuff, or you want to do smile makeovers, or you want to get into like rehabbing and dealing with tooth wear, we are going to bring some awesome stuff for you. And we have Gordon, Chee, and Presh. So what?
It's the trifecta.
It's the trifecta. Yeah. Any plans of packaging this stuff up on video and making it like available on like sort of an ongoing thing?
I'll take that as a no.
Definite yet.
Not the idea, but
it might be in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future plans. We'll leave it. We'll leave a cliffhanger on that one for you.
The only downside, though, to that is that you don't get to come to Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's true. You don't get to see the.
You know what we're gonna do, Sonny? We're
statue.
gonna load up the gear. We're gonna come to Winnipeg, and we're gonna do a podcast in your practice in lovely Winnipeg.
That would be awesome, actually.
That's what we're gonna do.
It's a nice place. You guys would like it here. I'll take you guys to Tim Hortons. There's a Tim Hortons down the road.
Oh man,
I've heard great things about that place.
We'll have a good time.
The way you describe it, Sonny, how can anyone say no? Okay, no. All jokes aside, it's just been awesome having you guys. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we head off to the weekend?
Oh, it's a long weekend. I'm good.
Okay, that's.
I think we're good too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being on with us today, guys. I know you've got a crazy busy schedule. We're super appreciative of you for coming on with us, and keep elevating dentistry.
Ooh, I like
We're
that.
gonna
Tagline for it?
do our best to put Canada on the map.
There you go.
100%.
We'll do it together.
Thanks for having us on, guys. If anybody has questions, please reach out to Gordon or I.
Yeah, we'll put all your handles in the comments for you, so people will know how to reach you guys. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
I'll send over my 17 Instagram profiles for you to jot down.
Can't wait.
Oh, there's 5 that I don't know about. I don't know.
Oh, man.
All right, Jim, man. Have a good weekend.
We'll see you on the next podcast.
Thank you, guys. Bye.